places outside of Erbil. First we're going to Monastery, then we go to a place called Lalish, which is a sacred place for people who are part of the Yazidi religion, an ancient religion, one of the oldest in the world, and a religion that was almost ruined by ISIS a few years back. More about that when we come there. Now it's going to be a 2-hour ride from Erbil to this place. See you guys there. Always bring your passport with you, because you will need it when you travel around in Iraqi Kurdistan. So the military there are just there for your protection, so it seems very scary and sketchy first time you see it, but they are there only for your own safety and protection here in Iraqi Kurdistan region. So we just stopped and seeing some storks who are under government protection on the road. Pretty cool. We don't have this kind of tall birds. Getting some introduction into the Kurdish music here, which is pretty awesome and very authentic. They're actually very close to Mosul. Mosul is here, and we are here now. So we're going to this area here. So we're not going to Mosul because it's not any possibilities to enter Mosul, because you need a special permission from the government to enter. But for now we're at least on the road around half an hour from Mosul. What I read about was that the Iraqi army fled Mosul, while Peshmerga moved in to defend the Kurdistan region. I know that ISIS doesn't have any control of any areas anymore, but are there still any battles in... there are still battles, yeah.
We call them like sleeping groups.
Yeah, sleepers, exactly. Sleeper cells.
But not in Kurdistan region, like in Kirkuk.
Yeah, in Kirkuk, yeah. Another military checkpoint. Oh, another military checkpoint. Need to prepare the passport.
This is one of the roads that goes to Mosul.
Yeah.
This is the last checkpoint of Kurdistan.
It's the last checkpoint in the Kurdistan.
Yeah.
So we just stopped on the land road, and behind me is the sign to Mosul, which is just 36 kilometers from here, that direction. But we're not allowed to go there because we don't have a visa to federal Iraq, since we're now in the Kurdish region. So what we will do is to go to the left from here, but it's very bizarre to see Mosul that close to where we are at the moment. So we just arrived to the Mattai monastery, and this was one of the monasteries that were very harshly attacked by the Islamic State during the battles in 2014. So the Islamic State tried to take over this Mattai monastery here, because mostly the people who live here or come from here are Assyrians, a Christian minority in Iraq. And it's just so crazy to think about, because you have Mosul, which is situated on a clear day. You can see it from that distance. The ISIS soldiers were trying to capture the whole point around here and then moving up to this monastery area, because all these Christian villages were evacuated during the time of ISIS when they took over Mosul and many regions in this part of Iraq. So Iraq is a country with a lot of minority, and since we have been staying in the Kurdish region, it's quite separated from the rest of Iraq. But now we are in a region which most Assyrians, a more Christian minority group in Iraq, is living. And it's quite crazy to think about that the Islamic State were actually trying to eradicate the whole group at that time. It's I'm wordless when I think about it. It's so bizarre, and it's so horrible, everything that has happened here. Still, the Assyrian monastery is still standing, as you can see. It's because the Islamic State wasn't able to take over. They weren't able to ruin the monastery, but it was heavy battles, especially along this mountain area that you can see here, and all these villages down there that were just evacuated during the time. But was this monastery attacked by ISIS? Because it's still standing very well, right?
No. Like they tried to attack, but it didn't cause any harm to the monastery itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was protected by Peshmerga.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, otherwise it would be ISIS reached here.
Yeah. Salam alaikum. Now that's quite crazy to think about, that the Peshmerga managed to protect it. But ISIS, they took over some of these other villages around there, or just they didn't reach anywhere?
They kind of for a few times they reached there,
Yeah.
but they didn't stay there.
No. Yeah.
Or do you want to take pictures first, or when we come down you can?
Let's do it when we get back.
Now we are in Mattai Monastery, means Saint Matthew's Monastery.
Yeah.
It's the oldest monastery in Iraq, all over Iraq and Kurdistan.
Yeah.
It was built in 4th century by a saint named Matthew. He came in a Kurdish city in Turkey called Diyarbakir. He came to this area at that time, and at that time in this area there was an Assyrian empire, and the king was named Sanarib or Sankai. At that time the Assyrians were following Zoroastrianism, Zoroastrian religion.
Yeah,
Yes, so when he came here, and the king Sanarib, he had 2 children, a daughter and a son. The daughter was ill, so when Saint Matthew came to this area, he cured her. So the daughter and the son converted to Christianity, and King Sanarib got really mad about that for converting to Christianity, and he killed both of his children.
Okay.
Yeah, later on he regretted for committing such a crime, killing his children. He also converted to Christianity and rewarded Saint Matthew to build this monastery here.
So that's where it started, kind of.
Yeah.
That's why it's Christian in the
And
origin.
it's Assyrian Orthodox Church. Assyrian Orthodox, not Catholic.
So Assyrians are basically living in this region here, right?
Yeah. Assyrians and Christians, but and Chaldeans, but the majority are Assyrians. Yeah.
Are there many Assyrians in Iraq generally?
Mostly in, I can say, in Kurdistan region.
In Kurdistan region, they are mostly, right?
Yeah, the majority are in Kurdistan
Yeah.
region. Yeah. And this is the original part, as you can see.
Yeah.
But this part has been reconstructed by time.
Yeah.
but this is the original.
Yeah.
And
See.
there are 75 rooms in here.
Yeah.
Usually Christian families, they come to here, they stay for a few days to pray in the church. And there are still 6 to up to 10 monks living here still, serving.
So they live here permanently then?
Permanently, yeah.
How are they supported, these monks? Like how do they get...
From the government.
It's government fully
From
supported,
the
right?
government, yeah.
Interesting.
And the monks also stayed here in 2014 to protect the place with Peshmerga.
Wow.
Yeah. On the hill, from top of the hill, there are some houses. That was like the last checkpoint of territory of ISIS.
Yeah.
In there.
So you can
A few times
see
they tried to come close and attack the place, but at that time it was protected by Peshmerga and the monks in here. So fortunately we defeated ISIS. They couldn't cause any harm to the monastery. Otherwise this monastery would be gone.
Yeah.
ISIS reached here.
So did ISIS hit it anytime, like with missiles or...
No.
No, it never hit.
No, never. These villages are also Christians in here. Christian villages. They were also evacuated at that time in 2014.
Was it only in 2014 or was it ongoing battles?
15.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah, around that.
Crazy.
And this is the old way in here.
Yeah. So, like you said, the ISIS tried to come sometimes.
Yeah.
Where did they try to come
the
up on the
villages.
road? Yeah,
No,
okay, in the
They
villages.
didn't came closer. Like from there, they wanted to attack the place, but they couldn't. Fortunately.
So the monks that were living here, they were basically seeing ISIS from this monastery, right?
Yeah. Like from here, on a clear day, you can see Mosul from here.
Yeah.
It's really close to here. Mosul was like the capital of ISIS.
Yeah, I know.
In Iraq. Yeah.
Do you know any people who, do you know any Syrians or Christians who lived here during that time?
Not really.
No, you don't know anyone, right? I see.
And many of them, of the villages, like I said, were evacuated. Many of the people, they didn't have time to escape to Erbil or Duhok, to the camps. There was no campus at that moment, so they lived here in the mosque, in the monastery for a while until they built campus around Duhok region and Erbil region. Then they moved to the camps.
And how, during these battles, how did they get food supply?
From the government and the UN.
So it was still possible to
get
it?
Because, it was protected by Peshmerga.
Yeah. So the Peshmerga did a very, very important job to protect the whole Kurdish region against ISIS.
Yeah.
A little bit about the conflicts that is going on today in the region.
Right now in the region, in here, there's not any conflicts, but in Mosul and south of Iraq, I can say there are some political conflicts going on, but no terrorist attacks.
No.
ISIS sometimes, like sleepers, they sometimes attack in Kirkuk city.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but mostly it's the conflicts between the militia groups. Some of them are funded by Iran, some of them funded by America.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this is still going on in Iraq, but as Kurdistan region, it's really safe.
Yeah. Exactly. Huh. Has there any time been any ISIS attack in Kurdistan region in recent time?
No.
It's not been any terrorist attack or sleepers or anything, right?
Yeah. Only in 2014, like a few kilometers, they came closer to Kurdistan region.
Yeah.
But we defeated them, hopefully. So no, Kurdistan, they didn't occupy much of Kurdistan land.
It's crazy to think about, because in Western media we rarely hear about the bravery of the Kurdish people or the Peshmerga or anything. But it's actually the Kurds and Peshmerga and the Iraqi people that actually defeated ISIS. It's because we hear only the stories about US defeating ISIS, and so.
The Air Forces was, of course, the US was helping, UN coalitions were helping, but the land forces, of course, it was Peshmerga.
Right.
It's incredible that this has maintained itself for so long.
When was this monastery built?
4th century.
4th century, yeah.
Yeah,
It's almost 2,000 years old.
yeah, almost. Yeah. Yeah, some historians say it is the oldest in the world, but I don't think so. I think the oldest is in Armenia, the oldest monastery.
Probably those monasteries, yes.
That's where they say the
Yeah.
Christianity comes from, so
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah,
that would make sense.
yeah.
If so.
Right. So we're into the holiest place in the whole monastery, and it's so holy that you're actually obliged to take off your shoes when you enter. Actually, in this church's area, you need to take off the shoes because it's a very, very religious, very holy place. So you're not allowed to wear shoes inside churches, which is very fascinating to experience. And it's so clean here, and you need to keep quiet all the time because it's a very holy place among the Christians in Iraq. So this is the Syriac language and the Arabic language. Syriac language is the language that the Assyrians are speaking, and this here is written in Aramaic, which is also an old script language in this part of the world. So as I was explaining, you are not allowed to wear shoes inside there, so it's a very holy ground, so you need to take off your shoes when you enter this monastery, because it's the holiest monastery among the Christian society in whole of Kurdistan and Iraq.
Now we are finished. We can take pictures.
Yeah.
If you want.
Cool.
We are absolutely on time, but only for our first lab we have another.
Here you have the view of the whole region, the region where most Assyrians and Christians are living in Iraqi Kurdistan. And as I explained earlier, during a clear day you can see Mosul, the former capital of ISIS in the region, but because of the dust storm you can't see it from here. Shortly explained, ISIS tried to take over this whole region here in 2014-2015 battle. All these regions are dominated by Christian groups, so all these villages that you see there and over there, they were fully evacuated when the Islamic State were on their merge. They didn't manage to hit the monastery. They just wasn't able to do any damage to the monastery. If they were, most likely the monastery would not be standing as it is today. So it's quite bizarre to just be here, right next to the territory of the former Islamic State. It's very mind-blowing, very mind-opening. Let's see if we can get a better view from the top here. So we are just having a short stop here in the mountainside, and as you can see there in the far distance you see the monastery that we just visited. So if you think about the contrast, you can see around this whole region here are settlements of Christian minorities, and the Assyrians are living here. And just to explain again, the Islamic State were trying to eradicate this whole region here between 2014 and 2015. Luckily, the Peshmerga forces, the Kurdish military, managed to withhold them, but it's quite bizarre to think about. So here you have the monastery seen from the road. As you can see, it's situated in the middle of the mountainside, and you have this, I don't know if you guys can see it, but on top of it there is a Christian cross, which basically represent the importance of this religion among this minority group in Iraq and Iraqi Kurdistan.
So now we are in Khinis.
Khinis.
Khinis is a very ancient historical site. King Sanarib used to rule here. He was an Assyrian king, and his palace was in here, and in here he built a canal from here to Nineveh. Nineveh is Mosul.
Ah, Nineveh, yeah, I know Nineveh.
To Nineveh, it was considered to be the oldest water canal in history.
I see. Huh.
Yeah, and in here there are 4 sculptures in here. I don't know if you can see it.
Is
Do
it
you see
inside these holes there? You
No,
mean?
no, not the holes. There's just caves.
Okay, caves.
There are 4 sculptures. The one in the left, the big one.
Okay.
Maybe I can show you from here.
Yeah. Ah.
Yeah.
See? Yeah, I can see. I
The
actually
left
see
one.
it. It looks like kings
Yeah, the
there.
one
Yes.
in the left is King Sanarib.
Yes.
The other one is 2 Assyrian gods standing on animals.
Yeah.
In here, because in their religion they were practicing Zoroastrianism.
Yeah. This
The gods
ancient.
should stand on animals.
Yeah. I know.
And
This.
the one in the right is King Sanarib's wife, and 2 Assyrian gods.
Yeah.
And there are many other gods sculptures on the mountain. You can see it.
Exactly.
And in here also they had wineries. 2,700 years old.
Yeah.
This site.
In the winery, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And also this is Lamasu, the winged bull.
The what for?
Lamasu. Have you heard of
Lamasu.
it?
Yeah, I think so,
Let
but
me
I
show
don't
you.
remember what it is. Is it like a god?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Lamasu, the winged bull, they call it.
I see. Huh.
This is the stone.
Yeah.
It was on the mountain, but
Yeah.
it collapsed by
Yeah.
time. And from above the winged bull, there's 2 other sculptures. I don't know if you can see it.
No, but maybe the animal. Is it the animal,
The animal,
over there?
and above there are 2 sculptures.
Yeah, I
two
see
men.
the 2 men there.
Yeah,
the
the
guy
one on
is
the
looking.
right is King Sanarib. The one on the left is also an Assyrian
Yeah.
god rewarding Sanarib for winning a battle.
Yeah, I see. Huh. So this is only the Assyrian.
Yeah.
Assyrians, right?
Yeah.
So Assyrians.
And the caves is like in Zoroastrian religion at that time. The ground is really sacred, considered to be sacred.
Yeah.
That's why they were burying their dead
Yeah.
in the caves, not under
Yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
That's what the cave is for.
Yeah.
in here.
I see. Huh. But Assyrians, are they? Because we also miss the other monastery that we
Uh-huh.
visited. That's also for Assyrians,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But Assyrians, are they mainly
They are
Zoroastrian or Christian or
Christian,
just
mainly Christian.
mainly
But
Christian?
at that time, it was like I said, this place is about 2,700
Yeah,
years old.
before.
At that time, they were practicing Zoroastrianism.
Yeah, exactly. But today they are more Christian.
More Christian, like almost all of them are Christians.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. But how did they live? Basically, they lived in like.
No, it was like a palace in here. They didn't live here. King
So
Sanarib's
it was a palace.
in here,
Yeah.
And from
Okay.
that river, he was taking the water to Nineveh plain.
Yeah.
Some historians
Yeah.
believe that he was taking the water canal to the hanging,
Yeah.
the garden of hanging. I
Yeah.
don't know if you have heard it. It's like one of the 7 wonders of the world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was like a big palace with
Yeah.
many floors, and he took the water
Yeah.
up to there was trees on the 2nd floor,
Yeah.
3rd floors,
Yeah.
trees and gardens. So
Cool.
he was taking water from here to Nineveh.
I see. Huh. So it's very interesting to learn all this about the Assyrians and how they basically originate from So back in the days they were confessing to Zoroastrianism, which is an old religion based on nature and spiritualism. These days they're more Christians. See there in the distance